All right. I forgot about our new Nailing History intro music. I was rocking out to that. It's been a minute.
It's been a few.
So Delaware, huh?
Yeah. Ooh, Delaware.
Delaware action. Let's do it.
I got my notes.
I'm sure you do. Well, do you have to? Can you apologize or?
I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to the fans. I'm a flake, as you all know. Not much has changed as we near the end of 2025. Can you believe that?
It's going to be hard to drum up another best of episode for this year, I would say.
How many episodes have we clocked?
I don't know. Not enough. Oh,
wow.
Boy. My money's just going right down the toilet with these subscriptions.
Maybe you could do a buyback at the end of the year. See, maybe see if the script will give you a credit.
I don't know.
Hell, and use your services for I
don't know, man. Maybe it's worth it because according to this guy Carlos from Pod Status, we're doing very well in Kenya.
I don't know where else we'd want to be doing well. Nairobi, nailing history in Nairobi.
Could you imagine if there's a group of people in some country where their only bit of history, their only bit of American history is what we've taught them.
It's like we got through all of the sanctions. Only our podcast has made it through all the sanctions of all these countries.
That would be a pretty funny movie. There's this country out there that we've taught their whole generation about history. They play our show in school, and now since we haven't had any episodes, they haven't had any school.
It's the country's falling apart. The whole market's just collapsed, all because they haven't gotten their daily weekly dose. It would be fun. I mean, what? Because China has their own Facebook. All these countries make their own things. Yeah,
do they?
Our traffic made it through because we just flew under the radar. But it's possible. That would be a good movie. I don't know what we can get into. I don't know what we need to get into.
This is a bit of a little bit of a flyer episode. I was thinking, John, what if we made this we're recording this on a Friday night. Vibes are good. Looking into the weekend as opposed to we normally are looking out of the weekend.
Right.
So vibes are good. It's night. I was thinking, what if we call this a Nailing History After Dark? And pull and and ditch the censor button.
Just leave it all on the line.
Let's just get it all out there.
I don't know if our Kenyan friends are going to approve, but they'll let us know.
Then we do an After Dark episode and society just crumbles and crime's rampant.
or the Kenyan stock market goes up 50,000 points overnight.
So just
rejuvenated.
I guess if you think about it, the reason for the hiatus is nothing's been going on in this country.
Absolutely zero. It's so boring.
It's been boring out there. I can't think of one thing, Well,
we already nailed the tariff stuff, a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
So we kind of entered the year not only having so much to talk about. And that all kind of just hit the wall for a while.
I think all the fans I feel like the fans have used the knowledge that they've gained on our podcast for water cooler talk.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So I don't know, nothing's really been going on, but I don't know this. I just got kind of fired up about the, I don't get fired up about politics very often, and I think most of it's bullshit. It's after dark, so we can say whatever the hell we want.
You were heated.
I was heated. I've cooled off extensively.
You were
Like
really hot and bobothered. It was.
what was that, Tuesday? I was in bed. I was
text left and right.
I've been having a rough week ish, and this has been going on, and it's just like been grinding my gears big time, and I'm just like, I don't just, man.
I mean, it's shocking to some. I could see why it's catching some attention in the media circuit, but hey, there's a history to it. It's nothing new as far as I'm concerned. It's Friday night.
Sleeves are up. It's Friday night.
Sleeves are up. I'm eating soup. I got a beer cracked open.
I just had a nice bowl of instant oatmeal. I am ready to go.
Wow.
Nailing history after dark. I guess my thing is, me and the two of us, I think, is just in general are more proponents of, you could say what you want. I think the term libertarian is more too widely used. I don't necessarily know if I'm a libertarian necessarily. I think I'm just more like everyone should be free to do whatever they want.
Yep. We know you. You're an EL. You're
ELE.
an EL.
Everybody,
ELE guy.
everybody love everybody, right? You can do whatever you want. I don't care. As long as it doesn't affect, well, even if it does affect, well, let me think about that. If it does affect me, would you be able to still do it? I guess so. But
I'm all for people. If you make your bed, you got to sleep in it too. And that actions have consequences. And if you just think there's someone always going to bail you out, that's not right. Whether it's the government, mom or daddy, anyone.
Okay, well, that doesn't really get to where we're going here. So the what I was all hot and bothered with was
it's late nights.
This
after dark.
This freaking it's nailing history after dark. This freaking clown show going on in with like the National Guard getting deployed to cities and across America. I think it started with DC. And it's all from the federal government sending this out, right? No one's asking for it, which is my biggest gripe with it, you know? And
well, there might be individuals, but governors of the states are.
Right. And they send, so first was DC, and DC's like, well, DC is, the White House is there. So like,
well, Congress gave their municipal powers to a mayor. I mean, if Congress wants to shuttle that down, it can. It's just they don't want to deal with running a city. But they can.
So that was a little bit more permissible, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. They have more of a case there than
like
other
Chicago.
States.
So then Chicago, just out of nowhere, started becoming this like hotbed topic of, I think there's issues with like ICE. People are protesting ICE, and not the beverage cooler, but the immigration something or another.
Enforcement agency, yeah.
What's the
got
C?
great benefits right now.
C?
$50,000 signing bonus if anyone of our fans. It's after dark, remember?
What's the C?
In corrections, maybe?
No. Is it? So we're very qualified to
immigration and customs.
Oh, customs, right? Okay.
Customs,
please. Anyway, so like I think it started off with that, but then everyone's saying the city's so unsafe. There's all this crime, blah blah blah. So then Trump's taken upon himself, or I don't want to say Trump, just the federal government in general. There's a bunch of bozos running the show over there. And then, did you see who got sent to Chicago? Did you see the pictures?
No.
I mean, the National Guard from Texas is like, they show up. They're like, freaking, I didn't even know they made Army attire that size. So I was like, at first I was like, oh man, these people from Chicago. Then I like saw who was showing up. I was like, I guess it's not that big a deal. But like, you know,
didn't send my brother.
I think that's your biggest. I think that's one of the biggest ways for your freedoms to be taken from you is for your own government to enter your city or where you live unasked by people who don't live there.
Well,
and like it's not their thing.
Yeah, I will say typically way back in the day, a governor had to ask you for help if you wanted the militia to come in the governor needed to basically, that goes back to the Whiskey Rebellion. And that was a very, these specific cases where they deem an uprising or an insurrection. And so to quell it, they send in federal troops or, armed militia troops. And yeah, there's precedent in some way, shape, or form for it. But in this example with Trump, because it's ICE, like all the states basically agree that the federal government would be responsible for immigration, right? Like states don't control their own immigration policy. Like Texas can't say, we want to allow, 100,000 Mexicans into our state per year. We give them work visas and they can only work and live within Texas until they become like formal U.S. citizens. At some point down the line, like all the states offloaded immigration to the federal government. And so ICE is part of immigration. And so with that, like the states, even if the governor didn't ask for the National Guard, in terms of like ICE enforcement, like a state doesn't have to provide its own resources to help ICE carry out what it's trying to carry out, but it can't obstruct it either. It can't obstruct the federal act of trying to deal with immigration. And I think that's kind of really what's going on in the background with all these more liberal blue states and cities is that, Trump's kind of using it as a way to say,
like, it feels like the whole immigration thing is like, I get it. Maybe there's something to like knowing who's here, whatever, border security. Because I always think, we've talked about this before, that like we could get Trojan horse as a country, and people don't realize that. I think people
some
think
sides want it.
Maybe. But like
the Democrats want more illegals here because I listened to a whole podcast about the census coming up, and in the census should just citizens be included on the census, because with based on the census, that's how you get apportionment in the House of Representatives. And typically speaking, part of the reason the Democrats even have the numbers they have are because of, if you're in the House, if you got a household of 10 people with legal, illegal, doesn't matter, they're all going to be counted as one person. And then when it comes time to actually apportioning the states, the districts across the country, they're going to have an outsized band. So the Democrats objectively want more immigrants, legal or illegal.
Okay.
It benefits them.
Okay, so it's political. It's political however you look at it, I guess. But
for sure,
it's almost like he read the book of the Whiskey Rebellion and was like, oh, I can say that I'm doing it because of this and send troops into these cities and take control.
It's not what happened to the Whiskey Rebellion?
Well, no. Well, so the Whiskey Rebellion was in 1791. Our buddy and your ace of clubs, Alexander Hamilton, ace of clubs.
Yes, I don't like him, but I just
he put a federal a tax on whiskey to help pay off the national debt. But
right,
But then the farmers in Pennsylvania, specifically in Pennsylvania, but just any farmers like out in the, the boonies.
I think at that time, rye whiskey was really popular in Western Pennsylvania at the time, and a lot of the barley, all these things that they farmed.
Yes, now all of a sudden they're paying off the debt. They're holding they're left holding the bag.
Yep.
And then
people brewing beer up in New England aren't paying for it.
Right. Oh, there you go. Right. So then protests blew up, and then in 1794, George Washington led a militia of 13,000 troops to suppress it. Mm-hmm. Now Washington led them himself, so I don't see Trump.
Which is pretty cool.
That's very cool. I mean, is it very
not cool? That cool if you were a farmer?
But hey, he put his money where his mouth is. I don't see Trump out there getting shot with pepper bullets or whatever's going on over in Chicago. Plus, I also think that I don't even know if it's really that. I mean, I think the National Guard and like the ICE are a bunch of bozos probably, and like they're acting a fool because they don't really know what they're doing. Because I don't think the government can really do anything right. But I think it's not like the protests and everything. I just feel like it's being painted as like a worse picture than it actually is. It's just so that Trump can do this and like try to get the backing of people.
Yeah. Which I don't think was the case with Washington. I don't think he was.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I think
Hamilton might have needed a.
But this sets a precedent of like, oh, I can say I'm doing this and use the military to suppress people.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a power that can be abused, and this precedent is set. And I think, yeah, I mean, is it the worst? Was it the worst thing, the Whiskey Rebellion? Like, I don't know, but like the Constitution was brand new, and it already seemed like the federal government was like more powerful than it ever should have been, thanks to Alexander Hamilton, who wanted a king, who always wanted a king, like you said, and that's kind of what it is. It's kind of what the action is, and that's kind of what's going on now. Is like, I don't know. It's like
he might have been the most prescient. I mean, maybe his knowledge on human nature, I don't know, but he kind of was just like, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way and just make a king for life, because that's what we're working towards. And all these everyone else was just trying to stop it. Maybe it can't be stopped, you know? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I don't know. Everyone's been neutered. Congress has been neutered.
But like,
but everyone's going to take the wrong example out of it. Whether you're for or against it, it's going to come from I think a lot of time historically kind of ignorant place, and it'll be just like, oh, I like what he's doing because I like what he's doing, not whether it's legal or constitutional. I think that's all very secondary at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and then I think I was like just thinking about it, and the other thing that is like frustrating to me, I don't know if there's been any other examples of this. And like maybe, you know, you think back to like the Civil War, probably not the same situation, but doesn't it feel like, yeah, Trump's being overpowering, whatever. But then I'm looking at it the same way as like the leaders of these cities are also like, seem like they're just like fighting Trump just to fight Trump. Like, you know, I think they're just like, there's no agreement going on. It's like, no matter what happens, they're going to disagree or go against it for political gain, right? I think it's all for political gain. So like, I feel like both the sides are using this power struggle and like using their people as like pawns in this game.
For sure.
Taking their freedoms away just to prove that they can. Like, how mad would you be if, like, you went out your front door and you just saw, like, the National Guard marching the street for no reason that you didn't invite them to? And then, you know, I think a lot of the time, well, and the Whiskey Rebellion might be a perfect example of this, or just in general, is, like, people with the Second Amendment argument with people, right? People say like you know, the argument for the Second Amendment in addition to self-defense, because self-defense can only take you so far as like how many guns you should be able to own or like what level or whatever. It's like a lot of people say, oh well, the reason that the Second Amendment was put into the Constitution was so that the people would have the power to fight against a tyrannical government. No.
Well, to form a well-regulated militia, but unfortunately the well-regulated militia is being used against them because it was nationalized by Woodrow Wilson, and now we have National Guards in the way they are. We don't have state militias anymore.
Wait,
I mean,
the thing for the National Guard is like the new version of like state militias.
Yeah,
that sounds not true.
What do you Google? Check it out. Woodrow Wilson and the National Guard. The National Guard Act, wasn't it?
I don't know.
1913. Let's have a look here. It's after dark.
It's after dark.
The National Defense Act of 1916 was signed by Woodrow Wilson.
Listen, time out. Don't talk about it like don't present it as if you know what you're saying. Okay.
After dark. I'm Googling it.
Yeah, but don't like talk about it like I told you. See, no, you have to read it. Read it like you're learning it yourself, because that's what's going on.
Let's see here. National Defense. Okay, created federalized standards. It mandated that federal funding and control over the Guard, establishing national standards for training, equipment, and efficiency. Guardsmen were required to wear U.S. Army uniforms. The act greatly increased the president's power to mobilize the National Guard during a declared national emergency. It also authorized the drafting of guardsmen into the U.S. Army for overseas service.
Why? What was the reason that he did that? World War I on the Like what was his
Probably.
reason?
I don't know. Sign the into law.
Isn't he your least favorite president?
I don't like him. By 1916, the U.S. was still officially neutral in World War One, but Europe was already 2 years into the war. There were growing fears that the U.S. Now, fans, after dark, it's ChatGPT. There were growing fears that the U.S. military was too small and disorganized to defend the country or project power if drawn in. The regular army had only about 100,000 soldiers, smaller than Portugal's army at the time. The National Guard, controlled by state governors, varied widely in size, training, and equipment quality. The purpose of the act, Wilson's answer, is sweeping reform that fundamentally reshaped the U.S. military to modernize and expand the Army, to federalize the National Guard, allowing the president to federalize the Guard for longer periods and for more missions, even overseas.
So this is Woodrow Wilson's fault.
It's in part. But again, I go back to Lincoln. Lincoln is the one who neutered the states. The Civil War neutered the states. I mean, and if the militia powers were a state power, well, that power was okay. Maybe it was still on the books from 1865 until 1916, but Wilson just put the nail in the coffin.
So, do you consider the Confederate Army state militia?
No, they would have been their own federal. They were their own federal republic at that point.
Okay,
they would have, and then they would have had their own standing army. So during the time of war,
right?
You have a federal army. The Constitution did not allow for a standing army. It's what they fought. That's why the whole thing was basically run by militia in the beginning, and all the tension at the beginning of the Revolutionary War. We had militia, and then Washington's like, we need a formal army to fight the British, and there was a lot of resistance.
Who said that?
Washington and Hamilton types, like all those.
By Hancock, probably had something to do with it. That good-looking son of a
John
bitch.
Adams, like more like Federalist types of people, like not Patrick Henry, probably.
You don't think?
I don't, because he was like top dog in Virginia. First of all, I mean he was the Pritzker of his day, kind of like he was a Gavin Newsom type, where he was like a major power in his state.
Who's
like,
Pritzker?
He was guarded of Jeb Pritzker, isn't that how you say the Illinois governor?
Oh yeah, I heard Pete Hegseth was saying he should do some push-ups or something. Did you see that?
No, but
it's so absurd. It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy. Like, I don't know. I mean, I just think if they would have asked for it, sure, you can have it.
Have what?
Like, if the people of Chicago was like, this is getting out of control, we need help taking care of our people, then you can have it. Plus, like, I think the people who live there aren't being affected by it. Or the people who are a lot like the loudest voices about this whole thing seems to be people who don't live in the city.
Yeah. Well, that's out of the playbook of most progressives. It's always the other someone else we have to worry about, never mind in the backyard.
What do you mean?
Because it's so much easier to worry about something that's not impacting you daily. You said most people that are making the loudest noise about it don't live in Chicago.
Right.
That's like a typical progressive thing.
But then
I'm going to be super worried about the rest of the world or what's going on the other side of the country or what the laws are in Mississippi or what the laws are. And I'd say maybe some ways, like people on the far right might say, oh, what happened in California? It's like, yeah, you're always worried about the other side because I don't think people like looking in the mirror and be like, oh, like probably should fix the potholes in our town first.
I was pretty hot. I was trying to get a rise out of a bunch of people, but I wasn't getting a lot. You were the only one that kind of responded.
Come on. It's after dark. I didn't respond to you.
Yeah, but you didn't really respond that well. You kind of were just like, yeah,
well, working.
Oh, you sent me this nice picture of Woodrow Wilson. What's the 14th
Amendment? It doesn't matter
Amendment?
if it's constitutional.
What's the 14th Amendment? Is that the Woodrow
14th
Wilson?
Amendment is what started and kind of that's what's began neutering the states. I mean, the war was fought, and then that's where we have the citizenship clause and birthright citizenship's all tied into the 14th Amendment. substantive due process. So all the stuff, every time it's the reason why the Supreme Court were able to incorporate the Bill of Rights against the states themselves. So meaning like if someone's going to basically fight for their Second Amendment right, let's say, because the state of Pennsylvania passes what they see as an unconstitutional infringement of their Second Amendment rights, they would file a case. They could file a case and take it up to the Supreme Court based on the 14th Amendment incorporating the Second Amendment. So it's like without the 14th Amendment, there'd be no way that a person could basically say, Wisconsin's taking away my rights to abortion, and the state legislature of Wisconsin passed a law, governor signed it into law, taking away my right to abortion or my right to own a gun. If you didn't have the 14th Amendment, like you could go up to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, but you wouldn't be able to take it then to the U.S. Supreme Court after the fact.
Oh.
Basically, like the whole idea of like there's when somebody hears the word Supreme Court, they think of one building in Washington D.C. The founding generation, when they hear Supreme Court, they'd be like, "Which one are you talking about?" And who has the authority in it? Because the Virginia Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court were both Supreme Courts. It's that they dealt with different things. But something like the 14th Amendment basically made the U.S. Supreme Court, quote unquote, more powerful than the state Supreme Courts. I mean, it's all slow drift to more federal centralized authoritarianism. It has been for a long time. Like you said, like within very few years after the Constitution was ratified. So, and people like to use you can't say his name. I'm gonna get canceled for it. But John C. Calhoun is known for saying, he's always tied up with slavery in the South, but he was a big proponent of
it's After Dark. You don't get canceled on After Dark episodes. So let it fly, dude.
He's quoted as saying, like, the Constitution only serves those who are out of power. That's it. And he said that in the 1830s or 40s. He's like, the Constitution doesn't mean anything to those that are in power. It's always going to be used by the opposition who are out of power, who are going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's not in the Constitution. This is unconstitutional, your behavior, those that are in power. But once you get power, you throw it out you throw it out the window. The Democrats would be doing the exact same thing if they won the election. And no one argues that. I don't think that's even debatable. Huh. Yeah, I want my side to win, and you throw the book.
Well, I don't know. That's not. I feel like there's times where, like, for example, this bringing the National Guard in, they're invoking the act that Woodrow Wilson passed. I guess is that the Constitution? I guess technically not.
A strict constructionist would say that was unconstitutional. It was passed by a progressive. He was a progressive president.
That was, yeah, it's just
just because a law passes doesn't make it constitutional.
Right.
And a strict constructionist would say a law that's unconstitutional is no law. Like income tax, like people that don't pay income taxes because they're like, it's not a constitutional law.
So you think somebody could come in and say, like, this isn't constitutional, sending the National Guard to a city, regardless of the precedent set by Woodrow Wilson, so we're not letting you do it?
I think it would be more the underlying was the nationalizing of the Guard in the first place, the constitutional thing. You'd have to kind of I think you have to walk back a few more steps to get to the end, the ends that you want to get to.
Which will never happen.
No.
That's why we should just
to say it's unconstitutional. You can keep saying like, well, we have this rule in 1916. We have a precedent in the Civil War. It's like they're going to find enough things to back it up one way or the other.
Dude, that's why Thomas Jefferson was dead on when he said the Constitution should change every generation.
Or amendments shouldn't be that difficult. It's too hard to amend the thing.
Yeah.
75%. Wait, three-fourths of the states? Never going to happen.
Well, what would you suggest? Could you imagine those clowns trying to rewrite the Constitution right now? There would be some nonsense in there, man.
I don't know who'd be more ridiculous. I mean, lobbyists would write the Constitution.
I guess it would be a mess.
Corporate interest would write it. Military industrial complex interest would write it. It's not going to come from people that are virtuous and principled.
Well, is anyone virtuous or principled anymore in the country?
No.
I'm pretty. Do you think you're principled?
I think for the most, I try to be, but I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I was late to this podcast, so that.
Were you? I didn't notice.
Couple minutes.
There you go, fans. I mean, we just wanted to go on emergency podcast, try to figure out what's going on here. How could this possibly be going on and being allowed to happen? And it sounds like it's all thanks to our buddies. George Washington, although he talked the talk and walked the walk, he said to himself, you know what? The Whiskey Rebellion may be the first money talks, bullshit walks scenario in the country after dark.
It's up there. That's a good point for both sides. Both sides could have been they both could have used that phrase. As Washington's troops and his troops were walking up, it's like, remember, boys, money talks, bullshit walks. Technically, they were walking out to Western Pennsylvania, so maybe they were doing the bullshit.
Yeah, they were 100% doing the bullshit, dude. The money was talking, and the bullshit was walking. That's all that the farmers. That's all that they were saying. They're like, hey, you guys got to pay your taxes. And there's money talks, bullshit walks. Get the hell out of here. If you're sitting thinking about it, just think about the boys over in Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh area, right? Just trying to make a buck. The government's taking their money. They say no way. Similar to the Boston Tea Party. Ever hear of it?
But it wasn't happening in New England, so.
Yeah, I guess and then
it happened in New England. We hear all about it.
I guess if they could grow barley in New England, it would have been a different situation, huh?
Yep.
So they're over there minding their own business. Then in comes George Washington and the boys marching to the tune of money talks, bullshit walks. They're walking their bullshit after dark, and sets the precedent.
And now nobody has any money.
Sets the precedents for the next 250 years.
And now nobody has money because we're 33 trillion in debt. So everyone's doing bullshit.
And then here comes Woodrow Wilson, scared that the army's too small. So what does he do? He takes all the states' resources, defense resources, and puts it into the federal government.
Yep.
And that's where we're at.
Isn't it lovely?
I guess.
So next time you see your National Guardsman, give him a salute.
I guess you have to.
Just not your state flag. You won't want that. Do we got to tell him about a few other things?
Yeah, I think we got a couple things coming up. We're getting a couple softballs handed to us here with some entertainment coming out where we will be able to cover it hopefully and discuss it on the podcast.
Do we want to?
We don't want to over promise and under deliver like we have all year, but
no. But I think we can ask our fans to go on a journey with us to watch some of this content that's coming out.
Yep. So the first thing that we found this week, Ken Burns, famous documentarian, I guess, is that what you would consider him?
Yep.
A historic documentarian, one of John's favorites, I would say.
Nope.
Well, you've watched them.
I watched the Civil War. That was good.
He is doing I don't know how many part series documentary on the American Revolution, which 6-part documentary on the American Revolution.
12 hours.
12 hours of pure entertainment. Probably not commercial free, or I would have said that. What's it airing on? Is it airing on PBS? PBS is hawking it. PBS is hawking it pretty good. And he's doing a tour right now. He was in the Philadelphia area last night, and I was going to go, but I didn't have anyone to go with. I didn't really know what to expect either, so I didn't.
Well, he's going to be out there later. He's going to be in Gettysburg in April.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I sent you all those dates.
So what John and I were thinking would be fun is we might have an episode beforehand where we put together a series of prop bets that we might do for the fans to follow along with as they're watching it themselves. and for us to track him. And, John was talking about doing an episode after each episode, but I didn't want to overcommit to that. So I think maybe we just recap in one Nailing History episode.
The whole documentary?
Well, the prop bets.
Oh, the prop bets, yeah. Should we give our fans at least a teaser as to why prop bets?
Like which ones?
Well, why we did the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Thing.
Yeah.
So I was right. I was coming back from work. Matt and I were texting, and he sent me this link to this documentary. And I just first thought in my head was, is Kosciuszko going to get is Tadeusz Kosciuszko going to get a shout out? And my first thought, without even thinking, I texted him. I said, I bet you he doesn't mention Kosciuszko.
And I said, like, I'll put $10 on that.
I'll put money on that.
I'll put $10 in a jar of Kosciuszko mustard. So we got a little bit of a side bet going. Real money. We know money talks, bullshit walks. So I'm hoping I'm not walking on bullshit after this.
We got a Hamilton, and a Kosciuszko, jar of Kosciuszko on the line.
Is Hamilton on the $10 bill?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
They wanted to replace him with Susan B. Anthony at some point, or some lady at one point.
See, they're going to come out with a Trump dollar coin. That guy is insufferable, man. Oh my God. Drives me crazy. This is what we fought against. So that's one. So we were thinking there's a couple of things. We're like over under what episode do they start talking about slavery?
First episode.
I think
it won't necessarily. It'll be about that's his style too. He always talks about all these different groups but yeah,
couple over unders. Couple will Benedict Arnold be mentioned as a complex figure or something?
Complex figure,
yeah, something like that. So could be fun. We'll get those together. Hopefully we can get those together and we'll talk about that. But then and
you guys too, our fans.
Yeah, Dick Pepperfield, please.
Dick, we need your help on this one.
Yeah, and I think our fans are well educated enough in the time period with the card thing that we did to be able to kind of put together some. I think Deborah Sampson will the Deborah Sampson story be mentioned?
Sampson,
I know another one.
Mercy Otis Warren, she got a shout out in the interview he did with Theo Vaughn. He already shouted her out. One of my
queens. Well, now your queen, yeah. She was the one who wrote the history of the American Revolution.
She wrote
right?
the history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then a perfect queen for you, I would say. She is your queen.
Yep.
How you say my queen, feel like if you guys knew each other.
Yeah. You should be like, what are you doing? This is a republic. This is a federal republic.
And then so if you want to put in on any of that, that would be great. I will say there's a great article in what was that PBS? The PBS put an article together where our buddy Big Ken was in our favorite place in the country.
Boy,
Ken was.
I wonder if he wanted to leave as quickly as we did.
Ken was in Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg, doing a couple talks, and I said to John, I'm like, well, I guess they rolled out the red carpet for him. I mean, they're talking about the blacksmith was inviting him over and wanted him to see so-and-so, and all the reenactors were greeting him and doing this and that. And I was that son of a bitch after dark.
I would have loved to still track him with a camera because he would have definitely walked up to a locked door and somebody would be like, it's Ken Burns, open the door. No, the Burgesses. I know Burgesses are closed at 5 on the nose, but
dude, I bet they would have kept
the door.
I bet if Ken Burns was walking up the street, that woman wouldn't have taken her flag inside. Do you imagine if they did though? That would be great.
He went to the courthouse. I think the guy would have been as snippy with Ken Burns, asking about killing slaves.
Yeah, you think they you made a good point. You think they had to cover up their tattoos and their nose rings for when Ken Burns showed up in the kitchen? What a ridiculous place in the world.
Did he have peanut soup? That's all I really care about.
Dude, that would be sweet. There was, oh man, now that I'm thinking about it, for a lot of money, you could have met Ken Burns at this thing last night. I would have loved to meet him and ask him what he thought of Colonial Williamsburg, dude.
We're all right, Ken, answer me. After dark, of course. After Dark. It's After Dark. What did you think of Williamsburg?
Oh my god!
And that movie.
His After Dark answer would be great, dude. He probably hates it there.
It's so tacky. It's so tacky. He's like, I've like made. He's like, I make pictures come to life. I have to like write a 12-hour documentary with freaking pictures from the Civil War. And I got this crap I'm walking through. Yeah,
crap After Dark.
But shite.
Yeah. Oh man, that was funny that he was at Williamsburg. I thought that was funny. And then the other huge, humongous bomb that dropped today. It was just completely just made my week. You know, I was down this week, just going through the motions at work, and I get something on, I don't know if I saw it on Twitter or what. I think I might have saw it on Twitter. New drama series, is that what you want to say?
Yeah,
of one of the great heroes of mental health in this country.
He just did so much to draw attention to it.
They are coming out. Netflix is releasing a 4-part series, a dramatization of a friend of the show, Mr. Charles Guiteau, and his path to being hung. Path to the what do they call it? What do you get hung on? The gallows. His trip to the gallows. His trip to the gallows. It's called Death by Lightning, which I'd love to know what that means.
Because he wasn't electrocuted. The electric chair did not exist at that time.
But like, did he get struck by lightning, which made him go crazy? Is that what they're going to... Did he maybe say that in court? If you guys remember, Charles Guiteau was the gem of a human who thought he had a job with James Garfield's cabinet, followed him around. Everyone hated him. Then he shot him and then said that I didn't kill him. The doctors who let him get infected are the ones who killed him.
He's not wrong. He would have been a great lawyer. He would have made a great lawyer. I mean, if he was half sane.
And it's a studded cast. The trailer had
like real people in it.
The trailer had a great soundtrack to it, and boy oh boy, am I excited for that one.
Michael Shannon plays President James Garfield. Nick Offerman is Chester Arthur.
Was Chester Arthur his vice president? I guess
he was his vice president. Yeah.
Then the
Matthew
guy from
McFadden. Yeah, McFadden in the role of his career, playing the Charles J. Guiteau.
The trailer makes it seem like an epic, like that. It's all very intense, and it's a good story. But there's a great little snippet, which is phenomenal. Our boy Charles Guiteau is somewhere in an office, and he's getting ejected. He's getting kicked out, and he's
asking for a job. Repeatedly.
His response is, I'm a taxpayer, eat shit. After Dark. I hope this is the most After Dark show of all time.
So it's based off a book called Destiny of the Republic, a tale of madness, medicine, and the murder of a president. Came out in 2011.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Millard.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait.
That's amazing.
I can't believe
shout him out. We got to tweet him out.
I did. I texted a couple of our fans and our big fan of this show, Dick Pepperfield, of course, always with the witty responses. I sent the link and said, "This is going to be lit, fam." To which Mr. Dick Pepperfield said, "Did you two will this into existence?" Which I like to think we did.
No, I think our fans in Kenya did. I think our Kenyan fans came to LA and were obviously causing enough ruckus to make this happen for us. It's going to be great.
I can't wait, dude. So we'll be talking about that for sure on an episode. Maybe we'll have to do a 4-part episode on that. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do it. We failed so many times reviewing things that I'm a little worried about it. Like our revolution. We can't do a revolution.
It's After Dark.
It's going to be the hottest thing of the year.
We're very pumped.
Did you tell Max G about it?
We'll watch with him. I'll insist he watches it.
Oh man, I can't wait. So fans, we got a couple softballs thrown our way, I think, coming up. So hopefully it gets us back on the mics. I know everybody missed us.
Nick Offerman was Chester Arthur. Wow. That's going to be something. I can't wait.
I hope they paint Mr. Guteau as the hero of the film.
Like, just not crazy. I mean, I feel like they could, I could see an angle definitely being like, mental illness and like tying it into like modern day and like being a little more.
You think so?
A little more, a little less heavy handed as they probably were back in the day.
You think they're going to hit up, think they're going to hit up the prayer that, or the song that he sang or whatever, or this way?
I was thinking that. I was like, are they going to, that's a good prop bet show. I mean, it's a prop bets for that one too. How many times does he ask for a job?
I'm going to the Lordy. He sure was. Why was that not the title of the of the show? I'm going to the Lordy. I'm so glad. I am going to the Lordy. I am so glad. I am going to the Lordy. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. I am going to the Lordy. Wasn't there another thing where he fell in love with like one of the media people or whatever? I mean, he was the best. He was absurd.
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty far out ahead of everyone else that we covered in that episode.
I know.
John Schrank was kind of funny too, but not as funny.
Yeah, what was his deal?
He tried to kill Roosevelt.
Yeah, well, Schrank was like, he was you. That's why it was...
Right.
He was like a constitutionalist, right? And that he was all upset because
he was running founding fathers. Yeah,
you can't run for another term because the founding fathers said no. Right. That was his big thing. Yeah, and he was like, it wasn't Tadeusz Kościuszko like his like favorite person.
Yeah, he dropped his name. Yeah, in like a list of names. Yeah, that's why they're on the ticket. My voting ticket.
Well, fans, we're back on the mic. This was, an after dark episode, so it was unscripted. We probably rambled. We're probably not going to get. I don't know. I don't know. I think we did okay. We got off topic a little bit.
It's fine. Most of the episode was setting the topic. It's fine. It's after dark.
It's true. Maybe we'll do a couple more after dark episodes.
The whole episode was really about telling people about these new shows.
Kind of.
The one on Guteau. Do we need to tell our fans that we're not doing the state thing, or is that implied?
Are we not?
I still have my notes.
Emily M texted me. She's like, "Thank God you guys stopped that episode." It was
one.
The Delaware one. When I like cut it off, it was like, yeah, we bombed it. Remember that? You don't remember how I did that episode?
Yeah, it wasn't our best work. Wait, we actually released it?
Yes, I released like the first half. What did we talk about that I was like, oh, I gotta release this gem. I gotta get this part out. I forget what all happened there. Then we were going to do then the last thing we were going to review our trip to down to Virginia, where we went to God, we should do that still.
To Charlottesville.
Yeah, we went to
it's already like 2 months ago already, right?
Yeah. Why can't I think of these names?
Monticello,
Montpelier, and
Highland question mark.
Yeah, there's some good stories in there.
It's good to be back.
Sure is. I don't know when the next one will be. Maybe, I don't know, fans, let us know. You guys want to hear a recap of our trip down to Charlottesville? Yes. You want to hear a recap of just let us know. I still have the notes available, and maybe it would be more fun to just rehash it out 6 weeks later. I don't know. I see what the bad day in history for today is.
Mm-hmm.
What day is it today? October 10th?
10th.
If it was like September 11th, it'd be funny. Like, oh, talk about a bad day at work.
We bought a new car on September 11th. Well, yeah.
Bad day in history for October. What day is it today? The 11th?
10th.
The Reign of Terror, October 10th, 1793.
Ooh.
The Reign of Terror, Madness in the Name of Reason. In the aftermath of the French Revolution, a violent retribution known as the Reign of Terror was launched against perceived enemies of the new state, including God. Thousands were sent to the guillotine, while the Almighty was officially banished. Reason to be France's new deity, revolutionary leader Joseph Fouché decreed on October 10th, 1793, the only acceptable worship would be that of the universal morality. Fouché even ordered the supreme being out of the graveyards with the Christian promise of resurrection replaced at their entrances with the atheistic message, death is the eternal sleep. Yikes. Shit was popping off after dark. Shit was popping off in France in the 1700s, dude.
A few Republican marriages, and yeah, they tie. I think I might have been talking about this before. They tie people together and they stab them and throw them in this river Seine.
That was their marriage?
They called it a quote Republican marriage.
They were just like murdering couples.
They were just like murdering people. They were a couple. It's just men and women. I don't know if they were necessarily together, but yeah, they would tie them up, stab them, and then like throw them in the water.
Because they were religious?
Either religious or they were just deemed as enemies. Which it wasn't just religious people. It was not just the clergy. It was aristocracy. Eventually, the more moderates. The Jardin. That would be interesting, but obviously it's French. How interesting can it be? A lot of stuff happened in the French Revolution. A lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of Gateau types.
You think so?
Came out the woodwork. Oh, for sure. They restarted their calendar for like day 0 and they called it like some crazy name. It was literally one of those, it was those types of things.
Yeah.
That's why they got Napoleon. Try to recenter it a little bit.
Your boy.
Your boy.
I always thought Napoleon was like universally like known as a bad person, but like he's kind of a complicated figure, as Benedict Arnold probably is being considered in Ken Burns' documentary.
Well, he had the Napoleonic Code, which was like education. There was like a lot of stuff he did that actually kind of, he was a tyrant, but I don't think he's of the sort of like Mao or Stalin or Hitler. Yeah, he was moving in on other people, but I don't know.
Yeah, like if you took out the world domination aspect of his reign, like maybe he was meant well. Our boy To-Do's saw right through it, though.
He did.
A real judge of character. Our boy To-Do's shoes go.
Mr. Mustard.
You got anything else to leave the fans with, John?
Nope.
We missed
you. I need
you
a new catchphrase.
You're going to get a new catchphrase?
Need one.
We need one for After Dark. It's just money talks, bullshit walks. Remember it, fans? You'll have to get ChatGPT out on that one. All right, fans. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep your freedoms close at heart. They're going away. Thanks to our buddy in the White House and Woodrow Wilson and Alexander Hamilton.
Bye-bye.